Something incredible just happened in American food production, and nobody saw it coming. The entire ice cream industry just surrendered to Trump's Make America Healthy Again agenda. Every major brand from Turkey Hill to the Giants are removing artificial dyes by 2027. Now, it's not government force, it's voluntary compliance because they all see the writing on the wall. Secretary Kennedy revealed 40% of all food companies already joined the movement. The FDA just approved natural alternatives like Gardenia Blue after decades of pumping our kids full of chemicals. Real change is happening, folks. This is bigger than ice cream. It's about reclaiming our food supply from the poison pushers. The revolution starts in your freezer, so keep watching. And while we celebrate getting poison dyes out of our ice cream, millions still suffer from daily pain that seals their freedom. Top medical experts have unveiled Conolidine, a natural solution that's changing how Americans fight pain. 100% drug-free. Conolidine optimizes your body's natural painkillers called endorphins, providing full body relief without dangerous pills or side effects. Over 1 million Americans and hundreds of professional athletes, including UFC fighters, have embraced Conolidine's power. It's legal worldwide, certified drug-free, and backed by 14 years of clinical research. So try Conolidine for less than $1 a day. Visit trycono.com/NNN, link down below for a 90-day risk-free trial. You have nothing to lose but your pain. So, interesting thing happened. You know, Gavin Newsom, he has presidential aspirations. Everybody knows it. And where'd he go? He went on the Sean Ryan podcast. And he was talking about Robert F. Kennedy Jr. spreading misinformation, claiming he was the adult in the room. Yeah, Newsom was the adult in the room. It was embarrassing, an embarrassing conversation. But here's a clip.
And so I respect Bobby, but he really turned on me early, and he flat out lied about some things.
What did he lie about?
He lied about, said, though, because Newsom got some, I got sick for 2 or 3 days, and he said it was because of a vaccine, and then he lied about what I had. He weaponized it. He misled. I was like, and I was reaching out going, brother, the hell's going on? And I saw him go down this sort of darker, people can disagree. And I'm, by the way, Make America Healthy, that's California. I've been leading that cause for decades. There's no governor, again, forgive me. That movement started in California. I did the Skittles ban a couple years ago. My buddy Marshawn Lynch was all pissed at me because we're going after red dye earlier than, and all the folks at Fox were mocking me. Now they're all jumping over, patting themselves on the back for leading this ever. But so I've always admired that about Bobby. But on the vaccines, I think some skepticism, absolutely. But I think that there's a lot of mis and disinformation that is really hurt public health. It's my humble opinion. And so now
this clip's circulating. Check this out. Here is Bobby Kennedy talking about the CDC's budget. This is going to blow your freaking mind.
CDC has an $11.5 billion budget. And look, almost $5 billion of that is allocated to purchase and promote vaccines, and only $20 million to study vaccine safety. That pays for a couple of studies. CDC effectively is a vaccine company. It owns 56 vaccine patents. The scientists who work for FDA and the CDC can receive royalties of $150,000 a year on vaccines that they developed. So this is the last agency that ought to be regulating vaccines. And yet we are trusting this agency with the health of our children. Here's an example of the revolving door at CDC. The former CDC director from 2002 to 2009, when many of these new vaccines were approved and many of these studies, these phony studies, were being formulated, was Julie Gerberding. She oversaw the numerous vaccine studies, many of which were recently deemed unreliable by IOM. And in 2010, she became, a year after leaving CDC, she was rewarded, let's say, with the presidency of Merck's vaccine division, which with an estimated 2.5 million in annual salary and lucrative stock options. Here's another unspoken conflict within HHS. After HHS licenses, recommends, and promotes vaccines with virtually no safety data, HHS is then statutorily required and vigorously defends against any claimant that vaccines cause harm. The Vaccine Act says in all proceedings brought by filing a petition in vaccine court, the Secretary of HHS is named as the defendant. So the HHS, because it's defending vaccine injury cases, has a built-in incentive, rather than studying vaccines for safety, to kill any studies that may show that a vaccine is unsafe. And this isn't just theoretical. This actually happens in real life. CDC...
And thank God he is the head of HHS now. Okay, let's check this out. Here's Secretary Rollins talking about the leadership at the Dairy Food Association.
Voluntary. I just want to commend the leadership, Michael and the whole team and everyone you represent at IDFA and all the dairy farmers and ice cream producers they represent for taking on this voluntary, proactive effort to eliminate the use of artificial colors in ice cream products by the end of 2027. Because of this historic partnership between USDA and HHS, and I will say it is an unprecedented partnership, but also because of leadership of organizations like IDFA and again, all the farmers and producers they represent, we are driving meaningful change to make America healthy again. I also want to acknowledge a lot of other partners, the Consumer Brands Association, Tyson Foods, PepsiCo, J.M. Smucker, Nestle, Hershey, Conagra Brands, Kraft Heinz, and General Mills, each of which have recently made similar commitments to remove artificial colors from their products. Just last week, the Consumer Brands Association announced a voluntary commitment to encourage the makers of America's food and beverage products to remove certified food, drug, and cosmetic colors from products served in our schools by the start of next year's school year, 2026. The beauty of America is the role that private enterprise has always played, but will continue to play, and perhaps an even bigger role, in voluntarily shaping policies for the good of future generations. But I just want to commend
This is a big deal, folks. I don't think you realize how big of a deal it is. Here's RFK Jr.
We can't make MAHA succeed without the partnership of the American farmer. And our job is to help them to open the doors, to make sure that they have adequate resources in their supply chains, and that the approvals for new chemical-free dyes are happening very quickly. And I'm going to bring on Marty McCary in a moment, and he's going to make an amazing announcement that today FDA has approved a new blue vegetable dye, in addition to many of the other dyes that the three dyes that we've already rapidly approved over the past 2 months. So we are going to be there for the dairy industry. Well, I grew up in a world where milk was the healthiest thing that you could eat. There was been an attack on whole milk and cheese and yogurt over the past couple of decades, and Brooke and our agencies are about to release new dietary guidelines in the next several months that will elevate those products to where they ought to be in terms of contributing to the health of our children. There's a tremendous amount of emerging science that talks about the need for more protein in our diet and more fats in our diet. And there's no industry that does that better than this industry. So I'm very grateful for this industry for stepping up, not only on this, but over the past 10 years, they've removed 60% of the sugar from milk products in school lunches. They've pledged to continue to reduce the amount of sugar in the food. This step is an extraordinary step, and I'm very proud to be part of this partnership I'm very, very grateful to the industry. There are many dairymen and women in the audience, and we met with them this morning, and it was an amazing meeting with amazing people. And we want to make it so that they're successful and that they can do what they want to do, which is to provide our children with the healthiest food possible. Brooke.
Man, this solves so many problems. Here's Dr. Makari, FDA, announcing the FDA approval of Gardenia Blue. It's a natural food dye.
Ingredients. Today, I'm announcing that the FDA is approving Gardenia Blue as a natural food dye with natural ingredients.
Yay! Turkey Hill CEO Andy Jacobs.
Kennedy, Commissioner. Thank you, Secretary Rollins, Secretary Kennedy, Commissioner McCary, for the opportunity to speak today about this significant voluntary industry-led commitment to remove certified artificial colors from commercially produced ice cream products. I am Andy Jacobs, chair of the IDFA Ice Cream Board and chief executive officer of Turkey Hill Dairy, one of the nation's premier ice cream brands. Today's announcement represents a commitment by dozens of individual ice cream companies, from small independent companies to family-owned companies going back generations to large multinationals. We have all come together as the ice cream industry to lead major change and to make this commitment to remove artificial colors. And you may ask, why are we taking this action today? There are three good reasons. First, many of the commercial ice cream manufacturers have already phased out certified artificial colors, and many others are currently working with suppliers to phase them out as quickly as possible. Second, by taking this step now, ice cream manufacturers are ensuring that ice cream remains a special part of our lives as consumer preferences change and the nation's regulatory priorities evolve. As ice cream makers, we want to ensure families continue to enjoy their favorite wholesome ice cream treat. And third, this is about showing consumers and our communities that we are stepping up. We know that Americans eat roughly 19 pounds of ice cream a year. Think about that. We also know that ice cream is important to our dairy farmers, our ice cream making communities, and our food retail partners. U.S. ice cream contributes almost $12 billion to the U.S. economy and supports over 27,000 dairy industry jobs. We want to ensure that we continue these bonds with our consumers and, more importantly, to grow our impact on the economy.
Keeping the pace here, let's go to their joint appearance, Secretary Rollins and RFK Jr. on Fox Business.
Daily working. And listen, this partnership we talk about a lot is unprecedented, never before in American history. Do you have an HHS secretary who is just simpatico? We talk almost daily, working together to make America healthy again. Bobby Kennedy understands more than anyone that you can't do that without American agriculture and the American farmer. Our announcement today outside on USDA steps. But to your point, Larry, USDA spends $400 million every single day on our nutrition programs, SNAP, prison programs, school lunches, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, this is a market mover in terms of what we're feeding America. So being able to ensure that our farmers, especially some of our smaller farmers, have the market in which to sell their locally homegrown produce, but also working with the big dairy producers, the ice cream makers, all of the above to get the healthiest, best choices out into America. But especially as you're talking about, Larry, 3 out of our 4 kids couldn't pass the military readiness test today. Something has to change, and Secretary Kennedy is leading the way, and we here at USDA are here to support him in every way we can. Let's
see. I think we got one more clip here. This is RFK talking about the ice cream movers.
And Larry, when we came in 6 months ago, and we said we're going to get rid of the 9 petroleum-based synthetic dyes that are in our food that cause ADHD, that are associated with cancers and all kinds of a grim inventory of other health injuries. People laughed and they said we'd never be able to do it. But what happened today, which is the dairy industry has now made a commitment to get rid of all dyes by the end of 2026. And then some of them are already taking action. Some of them already gotten rid of the dyes. We now have, with this contribution, with this commitment, we now have about 40% of the food industry that's already made that commitment. And 35% of the food industry had already gotten rid of the dyes. So we're very proud of this public-private partnership. I'm very grateful for our partnership with Brooke and with our partnership with the industry. We cannot make America healthy again without the cooperation of the American farmers and American industry, and they are stepping up to the plate, and we're very grateful to them.
Yes, we are. If you got value from this report, tap subscribe. My final thought is next. This victory proves something crucial. When we demand better, corporations listen. No legislation forces, no executive order mandated. The ice cream industry saw Americans waking up to what's in their food and chose survival over poison profits. Secretary Rollins nailed it. 3/4 of our kids can't pass military fitness tests. We've been poisoning ourselves for decades with artificial garbage while other countries banned these dyes years ago. But Trump's MAHA movement just changed the game. Natural alternatives are getting fast-tracked. Farmers are going chemical-free and getting support. Companies are putting real ingredients first. They're winning. So here's the question. Should artificial food dyes be completely banned in America like they are in Europe? Yes or no? Drop your answer below. It's not just about ice cream. It's about whether we'll accept slow poisoning for corporate profits. You can check out our merch shop, too, and join the food revolution. Real food is making a comeback. That's right. And you can support your favorite member of the administration, like RFK Jr. in American Badass series. Trigger Liberal today at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com. Or maybe you want to support Alligator Alcatraz, or maybe you want to help us expose President Otto Penn. The choice is yours. Visit the link in the description.